Vénganse, vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy.
Yo, yo, yo. Dropping the bestest flow. That was just very... Sorry. Can we start over?
Take
Welcome to On This Frequency. I don't know what I was trying to pull with that one. It just felt like I needed to say it, and then I didn't have anything to lead off. Good thing I am not a freestyle rapper, performer.
That's what you get for calling Thursday Friday Junior.
Listen, and ever since I sent that, my day just went...
You see?
It went kapow. Because...
Thursday was like, you're not going to call me that.
Right.
I am my own day.
Right. The rest of my day just kind of went all over the place. I was telling Ray when I walked in here that I feel like I'm business in the front, party in the back, because I have my makeup done, but then I'm wearing like pajamas almost. So
you are.
Yeah, it's because I didn't have time to get ready. I was running late here. It's coming here, and
You
then
can't tell because it's all black and it looks good. You look sleek. It's very modern,
Thanks, girl.
like fresh, simple. What do you
I
call
am-
it? Where it's like the athleisure wear.
that I am in my athleisure
That's what you're
wear life. I
That is what
really
you're doing.
am. And you look cute. You're coming from a open house.
Yes, open house.
Look at you doing the mom thing.
I don't really like doing. I was never really one to do those types of activities. It just always felt weird.
Yeah.
But it was really cool going. And there was a little station that we had to go and visit. They do like trips for the students, right? Mm-hmm. And so they take them to like Colorado, Nevada, Italy, for free. Like
What?
it's all paid for.
Can I go?
Right? That's what I said. I said, let me volunteer. But so what I learned about myself today is I'm really big with safety, like knowing where my kids are at. I don't care that I know what your location is at or that I can find you like that. I worry now a lot about things like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think about like I just finished listening to this podcast about Native American women who go missing and like they can't find them. Outstanding series, and I love them. But
Send that to me.
yeah, but now like this girl just went missing. So I have this investigator hat on.
Where could she be?
Yeah, like or the what's going on overseas right now, how they bombed a festival and there's young people there, and I'm like, oh my God, what if my kid was there? Like I think about all of like the time that we live in now, right? So the teachers were like, here's what got me. The kids go, but they can't take their cell phones.
Oh, no.
They can't take their cell phones.
I mean, I get it, but I don't. No, I don't think I could.
So I said, why? And they're like, we want the students to engage, right? And also safety. I'm like, what's this? How's that? How is it a safety thing, right? And she says, well, every what do you call it? Chaperone is assigned 2 students. So every one chaperone has 2 students there, whatever, right? Okay. And then we can communicate with the chaperones, like. Anytime we want an update, we have a direct line to the person that they're with constantly.
Oh, okay.
So I'm asking all these questions like, well, what airline do you guys like fly? And then, where would you guys stay? So, but I didn't realize what I was doing in that moment. So she's like, yeah. She goes, we tape the doors.
Oh,
so
yeah, I've heard of
if they
things
get
like
out, then you can tell that the door was ripped open. And I said, but you're finding out the next morning.
Right.
That's not going to tell you that day.
Yeah.
Now you have 12 hours that you have this missing. So I'm thinking all these things. And Mia just looks at me like, could you please stop watching your mystery shows? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I've definitely heard about the taping of the door thing. When I was in eighth grade, I had a friend, one of my childhood friends was an avid, and she went on like a school trip, and they would tape down their doors. But somehow they ended up, you see what ended up happening in this situation was they ended up sneaking out, and then the girls have their own side and the boys have the other side. So the boys end up walking the girls back to their room. The boys tape up their door the girl's door, and then the boys just take the fall and say, which is interesting because now I'm thinking about men and their power and their ability not to, to get away with things.
See, and I thought in my head, because they were like, yeah, we put the students in same-sex rooms, right? And I'm like, well, you could still fucking take advantage of someone the same sex. Like, it doesn't have to, like, there's no right answer to any of it, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But definitely, for sure, I was, like, I had that.
You had a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So now, let's say next week Mia comes to you and she's like, yo, I want to go to Italy with my school. So before... Are you ready?
Yeah, no. So before they do an international trip, they have to do one within the United States.
Okay.
And it's a whole vetting process that they do with the students.
Oh, okay, that's
You
cool.
have to apply.
Yeah.
You have to interview. You have... It's the whole process. But I told her, because she's going to go to one in Colorado in January. That's the first one she's going to go to. So cool. And it's a farm, because she wants to be a vet.
Yeah.
So she's going to be able to... I said, I don't care where you're going to go. I'm going to be within 10 miles of where you're at.
That's cool.
I'm not going to mess with you. You're not going to hear from me.
do whatever you got to do.
Do what you got to do. But I will be within 10 miles of where you're at.
And I'm going to go too. Just so that
And
I
I'm
can
gonna go
make sure
too.
that you're okay.
Want to eat some pasta.
I'm going to go for moral support.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. Where we got books. So
Okay.
like I said, you did all these stations.
Yeah.
And they gave you a voucher in the end for like $30 worth of books. And
How
I was like, oh my
cool.
God. So we
That's
all got a
nice.
book, and I got myself this book that's called The Quest of the Warrior Sheep.
Yeah.
Right? And Mia's like, what are you, 12? And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, I love the animation.
Talk about inner child.
There's like you probably can't see, but there's these like sheep. They're so cute. And I love how, and it
Does it have
always,
pictures?
no, it's not illustrated, but Mia's like, oh, why aliens?
Ah.
Chapter 3, aliens. Chapter 2, unidentified flying objects.
it
It's just
called
meant
you?
to be. It called me. Sheep and aliens.
Look at you. Well, that's, you know what? Now I'm upset at myself. I went to Target because I needed to get some tortillas and other things that I needed for lunch that I didn't have. So I just made a quick trip. And then, of course, I had to pass by their cool things. And there was this...
Every section.
Their Sanrio section, Hello Kitty and Friends
They have
and
a
all
section?
that. Well, now they do. Well, in their apparel area, right, department. And they had this, okay, fun fact about me. They had a... Karopi, do you know Karopi?
Yeah, the frog.
The frog
Yep.
was my childhood favorite. So they had this bright greenish pink and purple Karopi sweater. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get it. And they had like an extra large and then like 2X and too big, right? But then I was like, I don't care. I'm going to get it anyway. Oversized is in. And then I was like, no, this is stupid. I'm just going to put it back. So I put it back. But now that you got this book to fulfill your childhood dreams,
Mine was
I
free
gone
though,
back.
so that helped.
Well, and this sweater was only like $30, so it wouldn't have broke the bank, but my inner child would have been happy. And now my inner child is just kind of like, bitch, why didn't you buy me the sweater?
Yeah, and considering that I read a lot of like biographies and history books, and
Yeah.
this is
It's different.
It's a nice break.
Yeah, we need that. You know what? I just, come to think of it, I think I only have like 2. What is this considered? Is it nonfiction?
This
Fiction? Is it fiction?
this children's book?
Yes.
No, nonfiction.
Not, which one's the one that's fake?
Fiction?
Okay. I don't have
Nonfiction
many
is-
fiction.
Nonfiction. God damn it!
I always get those confused.
Nonfiction is
Real?
fact.
Right.
Okay.
Fiction is fake.
Okay. Well, I don't have many fiction. Right? Is that right?
Which is non.
Wow. So the description is genre of works in contrast to fictional ones. What the fuck is fiction? Thanks, Google. I continue to be dumb.
It makes you feel that way.
So yeah, like Samantha said, just remember, fiction is fake.
Fiction is fake.
I know,
Thanks,
but
Sam.
nonfiction still has the
Thanks,
F in it.
Nancy.
And everything.
Non-fiction is non-fake. Just call it
Trash.
fake.
Oh yeah,
TM.
non-fake. Okay.
Yeah, just call it fake and non-fake.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
The Twitch chat is looking at us like, yo, y'all need a lesson here.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, you know what? It really
It's
has.
been a long. What? Today's Thursday.
Yeah. I
And
feel like it's
then-
been a drawn out week for
No.
me.
Stressful, exhaustive. With the Dodgers losing yesterday, the way that they did.
Heard about that.
So it was kind of like a, well, I don't know,
Like a sad, quick downfall.
Yeah, it was like this release of angst and sadness and weirdness.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to exhale.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, but
Right. But you did anyway.
yeah.
But that doesn't matter because you're still having a busy weekend, right?
yeah, oh for sure.
Which is why we are recording today
Yes.
because Rickie and the Rose City Sound team got shit to do. They got money to make. So, side note, if you guys don't follow, make sure to follow Rose City Sound. And, I don't know, maybe you might be at an event that they are performing at. Go say hi. Okay?
Yes. Hi. We picked up a Christmas run. So we're going to be doing in Santa Monica on December 2nd.
Cool.
You know what? We should really do a run. We should.
Bye.
You and Ray both were like, no.
Yeah, no. You know
It's
what?
a good exercise to have.
I feel like I enjoy doing extracurricular sports or just
Athletic things.
athletic things.
Okay.
Yeah. But running is just not one of them.
You get a medal.
And I would be down for that, except I don't know. You would do it?
Yeah. I'm not a runner. I never classified myself as a runner ever. But
It would be hard for us to run if I'm like DJing the event at the same time. So that'd
True.
be.
I mean,
That's my out. That's my out.
I mean, Rickie can make arrangements for you.
No.
Exactly.
Well, she can make arrangements for you too.
yeah.
Yes.
We can all. But here, but the more important thing is we all have an inner runner in us.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe like 12 years ago, I was going through the separation of the father of my children.
Yeah.
I was in a really funny place.
Yeah.
And Kayla, she used to work at Autos and
Yeah.
is Nancy's cousin who's in here.
Oh, funny.
She taught me how to run. She was like, come on, we're going to, I was like, I'm not, like, that's not what I do.
Right.
And she goes, everybody can do it. So
Yeah.
she spent 5 days with me. On the 6th day, she was going to be in Vegas. So the first day, we're running. It was a slow jog. It was really depressing. And
Yeah.
it was like, I think like 2 miles. And we built up, like by the third day, she was pushing me harder. I was throwing up.
Yeah,
By
I
the
bet.
4th day, though, I got to experience the runner's high.
Okay.
And that was like a drug. I was like,
The dopamine, homie.
Yo, my
the oxygen hitting.
yes. And I was really impressed with.
Oh, look at Erica likes to run.
Look at
Let's
that.
go.
We
Yeah,
gotta
we
do
should.
that.
We
go.
need. Yes,
we
need to
should
do that.
put together a Rose City 5K.
We should, and that would be great because
I'll be the DJ.
and partner with someone because we picked up Homeboy Industries. We just did theirs. That's new to. You know what? I'm actually really shocked how many marathons we have done.
Yeah, you
for
guys
the,
have.
For the Christmas one that we're doing in December, that's with USA Today is one of the partners, and like it's a small community. Long Beach Marathon is this Saturday, and she was telling me, yeah, those are my people that are doing the Christmas one. So like it's all.
It becomes a small community.
It
Yeah.
does. Well,
Yeah.
that's how he described a big small community. But I wonder what the mission is with the marathons because we really have.
I think
it's grown with us.
Yeah, because this year would have been. This is our third year with the LA Marathon, right? But before the LA Marathon, Motive picked us up for Surf City twice.
Yeah.
So we did like their actual marathon plus their like qualifying 5K and half marathon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, every year is the Dodger Fun Run.
Yeah.
And then now we have
The
Long Beach.
Yeah.
That's through Motive also.
Correct. Motive
So-
Sports.
Now I think that's just like
And we did JT's the Turner Trot.
Oh yeah, that was last year. So
The Turner Trot.
You guys got a lot of marathons.
there's gonna
under-
be
under your belt.
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
you know,
I wonder what it
and
is.
it's looking bad because you got a bunch of fat people just pulling up to DJ
out of shape.
out of shape.
Like, yo, this ain't matching up with your vibe here.
But I really do like. I wonder what the message is behind it. Like, what's the greater thing? And until now that I'm actually thinking about it, that we are really becoming a great go-to for all the local marathons. A great milestone for us would be doing an out-of-state marathon. That would be a great.
That would be.
Okay, I'll go with you guys
Like
for
Boston, New York, or something.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll be
it'd
there.
be
And
really
those-
good.
I'll start training.
I think doing it with LA because I think it's LA, Boston, New York, and I forgot there's a fourth one that are like all the elite runners
Yeah.
come and actually
From all
compete
over the
in
world,
those,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but to my point, you experiencing, and yes, Erica, the runner's high is an incredible experience.
Interesting.
By the 6th day, like, she FaceTimed me.
Yeah.
And I was running, so from 4th and Euclid, my mom used to live off of Haven and 4th Street.
Okay, yeah.
And I ran that whole...
Nice.
and so she would call me to check in on me on FaceTime, and we would see each other.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most amazing. And then I became addicted to it, and then I was just running all the time because it felt good. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I just loved it.
Yeah, no.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
and I
yeah, we're
haven't
different now.
picked up the pace like that in a while. But
no,
it's a beautiful feeling.
I used to do like weightlifting in college, and for whatever reason, I thought that it would be a good idea to include a warm up, which would include bleacher stairs and then a mile around the track. And so one of the days that I was doing that, the track team was conditioning or whatever they're doing, right? And the coach approaches me and he's like, hey, I think you'd be a good sprint runner. You want to join the team? So I go to their tryouts the first day and I was like, fuck, no. I left real quick. But now, like, I think
But
back
the
and I'm
first-
like, damn, I should have stayed.
You should have,
Yeah,
because
but
the
I didn't.
first day of anything that you do, like for the first time, it's gonna be like, why? Did
What
I
am I
say
doing here?
That
Yeah.
I would do this.
Yeah, and it just went back to my automatic, like, yo, I am not gonna run. This is just not it for me. And it probably could have been. I could have been in the Olympics.
You could have. That's why I say you gotta explore and try and see what comes our way. You just never know. It's worth a shot though.
Here comes Ricky pushing it on you now.
Yeah.
Keep up.
She's
Next
gonna-
thing you know, we're gonna be running a marathon.
yeah.
Damn. Hey, but anyway, so the reason why we're here for real is, look, I want to give you some exciting news. Last Friday, we were talking about how I didn't have a job, and you were telling me, do what you gotta do, pursue your passions. You know, you're really grilling me, and I was like, no, Ricky, please leave me alone. I was crying. No, I wasn't crying, but
There's nothing wrong with crying.
you're right. There isn't, but I really wasn't.
Don't cry,
crying.
shame.
Fuck. Maybe we have to change this episode. I have a job.
Of course you do.
I have a job.
Yay!
Look at me. I'm always getting applauses around here. Thank you for hyping me up. This is my love language. Ha. Hey, love languages. So I got a job. So this week has been kind of weird because it kind of just ramped up and started real quick. But it's really cool because it may not be cool like you may think, Ricky, because it's still in the banking industry. But the cool thing about it is that I get to be a 1099 contractor, so I am working for myself. So I'm like my own business.
Self-employed.
Claps again.
Self-employed.
I'm so excited because I don't have to, what is the word? I don't have to report to anyone. I don't have to be at no fucking meetings. It's just, I'm going to do my work and I'm going to hand it off to you. Just tell me how you want it done and I'll get it done and then call it a day.
Do what though?
So I'm really excited.
Or like whatever.
Auditing. I'm auditing onboarding paperwork for a financial institution. So I'm
nice.
really excited. Yes. And I guess I'm really excited because it's something that I'm doing that isn't where before, even though I was doing contractor work, it was still a W-2, which meant that I was still reporting to somebody. Where now they are handing me the work and they're just telling me,
Do this.
just get it done.
Do this.
I don't care how. Just do it. Well, they kind of do care how. Of course, they care how, but they don't care when or where I am at the time of doing it, which is really nice because it feels like it's a little
So they
more
just give you
flexible.
like a bunch of
Like
work?
a workload. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's exciting. So it'll be a little bit different. It's not something that I'm used to. But I trained today, I trained tomorrow, and I'll probably start tomorrow too. So
Wait, so they train you?
yeah, because I have to know the where to grab their paperwork.
Oh, got it. With their
You know, their systems. Yeah. Got it. Which I get to see through my own computer and the whole bit. But anyway, why are we here? What was the point of that?
That's the question we've been trying to figure out since the beginning of time. Why are we here?
So last week, okay, I'm saying that the precursor is last week. If you didn't listen to the last week's episode, make sure you listen to that, because Rickie and I went back and forth with Ray and with the chat on Twitch about
we tackled a lot.
Being passionate and
the whole thing over
love
again.
languages, and you know, Rickie was with her traumas, putting her traumas on me and wanting to champion for me, and I was like, but Rickie, I just want you to like love me the way that I want to be loved. I don't need that from you. And you're like, but you don't know. You don't let me love you. And I'm like, but I do want you to love me, just not like that. So it went about the whole thing, something like that, right, Ray? I think that was
and then,
kind
and
of
then
it.
I think in that moment, because we weren't really trying to correct her, I think we were just trying to get her to kind of lay off a little bit. I think it triggered the fact that like her growing up, not having the support that she would have wanted.
Yeah.
Right. So then we initially ended up just talking about like understanding people's way of going about things and paying attention to how they are. Right. And that's kind of what led into the subject that you ended up bringing up, or she brought up last week.
Actually,
about love
Amy
languages.
and Samantha.
Yeah.
Because I went back to listen to it and I was like, oh, okay. They were mentioning about love languages. And I was like, we should do an episode about love languages.
And the key to that, though, was like you do understand love languages, but the disconnect was more so going about loving people with their love language, not our love language. Because that's initially how it works, is like I'm supposed to like show my wife the love that she likes to receive, not the love that I like to receive. And that's where we were kind of debating, because you were putting on Natalie what you would want,
Right.
and that wasn't necessarily
what I wanted, and then it was coming off as if I was pushing Rickie away, but that's definitely wasn't it. It was just that's not how I want to be loved. So it was being received incorrectly, right? Because I'm over here just like, what's happening? I don't get it. And then Rickie's like,
no, I did. I went back and I listened to the whole episode, and I think that there were a lot of things that were not in alignment with just how we were communicating.
Yeah.
Because there were several different levels to it, and multiple things that were equally important, you know, but none of it, I think, had anything to do with a lack of love or a lack of any kind of desire to want to understand the person.
Beautifully said.
But definitely, the cross-pollination of like because those topics were important topics, and a sensitive one to me as well, you know. And
it kind of all started though with just I think the fact that you were referring to the movie with Michael Pena, A Million Miles Away or something like that.
Oh, that's right. That's
and
how
totally
that
forgot about that.
And you were pretty much just like saying, hey, like we got to be like just go about it your way, because that's kind of that led you having that instinct of like I would have went with what's his name because he looks just like
not just that he just looked like it, but that I did think he had the potential.
The possibilities, right? But then that's within that same context, it led into, and this is how conversations are had.
Yeah.
Right? This is how dialogue is supposed to happen. So in no way was our dialogue in a negative light, right? It may have seemed kind of funny, but at the same time, it's just like, look, we started here and we took it there, and we also brought it right back to where we're at, right? Because at the end of the day, we do got to look at people in a certain light, and we do have to like push them. But going back to what we were talking about last week and how Natalie was kind of like, how did this come to me, right? How did that come back to her? It's like, but we're still gonna push you no matter what, right?
Yeah.
We have to find the right time, and in looking in that, like watching your body language or understanding you,
Yeah.
because a lot of times like I get caught up wanting things for you guys, and
Yeah.
I gotta pull back and be like, that's not what they want right now. Like we're all victims of that. Like we all want more for people we care about, and we're just like, well, let's go, let's do it. And you're like, no, that's not the time right now. And you're like, what the fuck you mean it's not the time? It's the time, let's do it, right? And that's kind of like where it led to, right? But then it was also referencing the whole love languages, which is a big part of it,
Yeah.
right? Like we still have to look at it. Granted, we started in one area and we ended in another area, but at the end of the episode, we did say we were going to visit that realm of love languages.
Yeah.
And how we go about doing these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So should we start with...
if you haven't listened to the episode,
Yeah,
go back for context.
Because it was perfect. I think that it was the way that our conversation just went was just, it was just beautifully narrated and unscripted. It was wonderful because
it was a real conversation.
Yeah, because you got to listen to where I was coming from and the tone of my voice and Rickie's tone, and both of our just kind of not debate but just our dialogue. So anyway,
Our differences.
Yeah, exactly, our differences. And with that, I took the love languages quiz and very much expecting a certain answer or response or analysis or whatever the thing is, because I had taken this before, and previously my primary love language was quality time.
That was your first one?
That was my first one.
Like from previous times ago?
Right. My original love language primarily was quality time, and I thought that was true to this day. And so when I take the quiz this past week, it turns out that my love language is now acts of service, rightfully so, as I am a new mother feeling like I can never get everything done. So it's acts of service, and then what's the touch one?
Well, I want to actually
touch one.
go back a little bit more to define and explain what are the 5 languages.
Yeah, please
if
do.
you don't, if someone out there has not heard this, because it's all over, and they have even incorporated this in the corporate world.
Yeah,
for people to on a professional level find out. But
tell us.
So
girl.
the premise of the 5 love languages book, it's a book, is quite simple. Different people with different personalities give and receive love in different ways. By learning to recognize these preferences in yourself and in your loved ones, you can learn to identify the root of your conflicts, connect more profoundly, and truly begin to grow closer.
Let's go closer. Rickie.
The 5 of them are acts of service, right?
Yes.
For these people, actions speak louder than words. Receiving gifts. For these people, receiving a heartfelt gift is what makes them feel most loved. And then quality time. It's about giving the other person your undivided attention. Words of affirmation. This language uses words to affirm other people.
Okay.
And then physical touch, which is nothing speaks more deeply than that's a funny word. Than appropriate physical touch. Interesting.
Okay.
So those are the 5 love languages that were developed by a white man. Meet Dr. Gary Chapman. So it's this guy. No disrespect to a white man, but he's a well-known marriage counselor and director of marriage seminars.
Hey.
Thank you, Dr. Chapman.
Yes, Dr. Chapman. We wouldn't be here without you, sir.
Which, by the way, and I want to go back and do these too, they actually have what's your apology language?
Oh, yeah, we do have to.
How well do you manage your anger?
Yeah.
And do you feel appreciated at work? Those are great. I think those are I'm curious about. I want my free anger assessment.
Yeah, and the apology one too. What
Apologies
kind of
are
apologetic person am I? Maybe I'm a
Yes.
shithead. I don't know.
But to go back, so do you remember the first time you took this quiz?
Oh, it must have been, well, let's just say 5 years ago. Yeah.
Same for me, like about 5 years ago. And so
Yeah.
yours was 5 years ago, you said quality time?
Yeah, it was quality time.
It was quality time, and now you are not words.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
And then the touch one. What's the touch one?
Physical touch?
Yeah, physical touch.
So
is
those are
second.
your top two right now.
Right, which before they were bottom two. So it's really funny how that shifted. And I'm even more, it's interesting because what is the touch one?
Physical
Jesus.
touch.
Physical touch. Damn it, mom brain.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. Physical touch. So I constantly feel touched out. So it's interesting to me that
Touched out.
physical touch is one of the ones that I like because I obviously,
Which is interesting because you're breastfeeding.
right?
And that's
I
a very
always
intimate thing you do
have
like daily.
a child on my boob, a dog on my lap, a husband that constantly wants to be near me, the cats.
What's the green one?
Words of affirmation?
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So I did find it really strange that would be my second love language. I definitely thought that would be the last one, but I guess I just love being touched.
Wait, so then it's good. So then you are getting what you need.
I guess in the physical touch, maybe a little bit. Maybe I don't want it so much from the dog and the cats, and maybe not all at the same time, because that's sometimes how it happens. I actually have a picture that I'll show you privately because it's partly showing my nip. But I have DeLuca on my boob, and then Jorge like between my legs. And that sounds kind of nasty, but they're all just on me, and I'm like, can I just get a moment to myself? It's my body. But
Well,
you know,
can
it
have
just is what it
physical
is.
touch with yourself.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I'm gonna save this podcast, that episode, for another moment.
Hey, self-soothing.
It's
You're
true.
gonna get into, and you get an opportunity to learn about yourself and your
Right,
body and what
right,
you like,
right.
and bam,
And
there you
also-
go.
And if you want more, watch the Principles of Pleasure on Netflix.
Yeah.
And also you can watch or listen to that episode from the last season. Was that last season or 2 seasons ago?
I feel like it was like 2 seasons ago.
We can do it again because I love that episode.
Wait, we did do an episode on that?
Yeah, the Principles of Pleasure or pleasure principles. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
whatever. So acts of service and physical touch are me. What are you?
Mine used to be acts of service. It was all acts of service. I didn't
remember
care
that,
about
yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
And now it's physical touch and apparently words of affirmation. I'm tied with words of affirmation and quality time. I'm shocked about I didn't know that. Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
But physical touch for sure is something I'm uncomfortable. See, this is why I don't like physical touch. Oh, your armpits are sweaty.
You see? Wait, did you just do that so I can get off you little jerk?
Hey, that was the fight or flight, the panic mode.
She just fed into my insecurity to get out of her insecurity.
Yes. You see how that works? See how
Do
that
you
works?
see, guys? Ugh, this is why you have to watch this live. I'm over here like, let me love her in her love language. She just fought me off.
Ew, but now
Maybe because I'm not the romantic love language one.
no, but there's a romantic one.
Well, I mean, like,
There's
you're
not a romantic one.
I don't know. Yes and no, because I don't think you want physical touch from me. You want physical touch from a romantic partner? Oh, you want physical touch
I mean, I'm
from...
never gonna say no to physical touch from a romantic partner, but no, like
Then let me love you.
no, but it is hard. But so I'm aware of that now too. Like how that I was reading an article. It said the other day, 8 hugs a day. You need 8 hugs a day.
Well, you just
Quick,
rejected one of your
boom,
8.
boom, boom, in and out. Well, you're affectionately touching me in public. That's even worse. That's even worse.
I like being touched in public.
No,
I think
no,
it's
no.
romantic. Like the people in Mexico City. I think it's beautiful when they're like making out in public.
See, okay. Samantha, eight. There's a lot of people that would pass on 8. I could give you 4. I think
Eight?
four,
Oh,
hugs.
8 hugs.
Yeah, we're talking about 8 hugs. But no, like even simple things like, yeah, you can have a moment with a person. Like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm 1,000% okay with that. And that can be just as intimate as a hug or even more. Like I've been like legit,
Yeah.
rough times.
Yeah.
And because it's the transfer of energy.
Yeah, it really is.
It's literally the transfer of energy.
Yeah.
You the same way that we're empaths and we feel
Yeah.
people's things,
Yeah.
or whatever they're feeling like.
Right, you're gonna carry that with you once you
Yeah, now you're gonna touch
approach.
it. Now you're gonna like that's electricity. Like you're gonna so there's
no, I get that.
there's a lot of power in that. you
Yeah.
know? So I do desire that on a different scale now. Meaning like I don't need a lot of it, but the little bit that I get, it's profound and impactful.
Yeah.
And I'm very conscious of that now. Very, very conscious of that.
So would you say that you need so you don't receive a lot, you receive whatever you receive and you're cool with that? With the amount of physical touch that you get now
think about
at this
it.
point?
The people closest to me will tell you that I'm not an affectionate person. Like, and we've had this discussion before where I don't even say bye or hi.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like in and out, and I don't,
Right.
So there's
That's right.
there's something about me that has an issue in saying goodbye. Oh, we're parting ways. What if I don't see you? Which makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So I don't have to dealing with people who want to be affectionate with me all the time.
Right.
So it's not that hard for me to have to manage.
Yeah.
So it has to come from me.
Yeah.
So I'm the one where I find myself reaching out to people and making a conscious effort to,
be intentional about the physical touch
Yeah.
that you give.
Oh, and in that moment, like not take that, for granted. I was with a friend the other day and, he was going through something rough. And that's why it was funny, like with the hand thing.
Yeah.
All I did was like, I just held on to his hand, like just put my hand over his hand and like, I'm sorry,
I'm
like
here.
I feel you, like yes, and that was very powerful. Meaning, like even for me, like I didn't need it,
Yeah.
but I felt, how that was in some very small way, very soothing and
Right.
helpful in the situation.
Right.
So,
And you know that you would have liked that reciprocated if you were in that person's shoes. So it works.
yes,
It works.
yes.
What was your
So,
second one? Physical touch.
apparently, words of affirmation and quality time.
Okay.
But so the words of affirmation one, that was never a high one. But when you're taking the quiz,
Yeah.
and they're asking you,
These questions.
and so now you have to think of examples.
Right.
So one of the things that I started doing this year is when somebody tells me something positive, like I have a text message that Ray sent me. I don't even remember why he sent it.
Yeah.
What day it was or whatever, but it was a really encouraging statement.
Yeah.
I wrote it out,
Yeah.
put it in front of me. So every morning that I wake up, I look at and I read
Yeah.
the message that he sent me to remind myself, like, hey, you're good.
Right.
So if you go into my room now, like there's a bunch of like Post-it notes and paper bags that I'll just write on.
Yeah.
When I like a prayer for my kids too, I have one that says, God bless my kids and my kids' kids.
Yeah.
And it's right there in front of me and I see it.
Yeah.
So those words of affirmation, I think like I said, they've made an interesting appearance in my life.
Yeah, I like that. You doing that reminds me of the show Being Mary Jane. How did you ever see that? Oh, I love that show.
With
I thought it was
damn it,
perfect.
what was the actress's name?
The one that's married to the football player.
Basketball player.
Oh, God. See,
Dwayne Wade,
What do
I
I know?
think.
Yeah.
And actually,
Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union. It is a great show. And
I love
thank
that.
you everybody tonight for joining us on Twitch again.
Yes.
If you're not already following us on Twitch, to all you listeners all over the world and the aliens out there listening to us.
You guys especially.
Yes,
Signal
check
us.
us out. Check us out on Twitch. We're on here.
Twitch.tv / on this frequency.
Yes. So hello to everybody. Which also, speaking of aliens, and I hate to go back to this topic in a
it's
little
okay.
way, but I found and I posted this on my Instagram, and I think it was Dougie Fresh, and he was being beatboxing. Is that what he was doing? But when I was listening to him, I was like, oh my God, this is... And again, because I've watched so many movies about aliens, and for some reason it always goes back to like, ¿cómo se dice? The Morse code type communication.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it. Like, this is how
We're going to communicate with aliens.
music is going to be how we end up communicating with aliens through music.
Didn't NASA or somebody send music to space?
I feel like I saw that in a movie somewhere.
Yeah, I think
but
it happened.
probably.
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, the most popular or top or best music in the world or whatever, and they like put it in a something, and then now it's off and you can listen to it in space. It's playing as it's flying off.
Yes.
Weird how that happens. Technology, I don't know.
But back to the love languages.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to do my best.
Did you read the book?
No, I've gifted it before, but I've never actually read it myself. Isn't that weird?
I did read it.
Gift something that I didn't read.
But I read it like 5 years ago. So it had been a minute.
Yeah.
And I think the most impactful thing that I read about it is like how we were talking about the exchange of love. Mm-hmm. You might receive love in a very different way that I give it.
Right.
And I don't. And so one of the examples that they were talking, a married couple, and in the end, she was like, I don't need you to love me like that all the time, the way I want you to love me. But every now and then, because she understood that he is who he is and he loves how he loves.
Right.
Which was a part of the reason why she fell in love with him in the first place. Right. But he acknowledged, it's not going to kill me to do something for you every now and then.
Right.
That I don't normally like to do, but I know that it's going to please you and make you happy.
Right.
And it should go both ways.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't know how realistic it is to really like give somebody your blueprint and say, this is me, this is who I am, this is how I need you to love me, and this is what I want from you. Then doesn't that disassemble the relationship?
Yeah. And it almost feels, I would feel as if, if that were the case, I would feel smothered. Back up. Go do your own thing.
If they loved you the way that you wanted
to be loved all the time, every single day.
Yeah.
I'd feel like this is a lot. Just
don't love me that much today.
Yeah.
Don't love me that much today.
I guess we all like to, be slapped around a little bit. Okay, maybe not slapped around, but you know what I mean.
I didn't say it. You did.
I know.
Have you been slapped?
No.
Around a little bit?
I mean,
it's not a bad thing.
In the right ways.
In the right way.
Not in the like domestic abuse ways.
Yeah, definitely not in that route.
Respectfully. But so I'm gonna practice physical touch on you.
Now that makes me nervous.
And it makes me nervous because now I'm like, this is kind of weird. Do I do like this? Do we hold hands, or like do I just hug you, or like but I don't want like those sideway hugs because those are awkward.
Yeah, you've always been an anti-side hugger.
I want like chest on chest. I want you to feel all of me.
You know what though? Ironically, when I first met you,
oh yeah,
I was Mike introduced me. He's like, "Hey, you get to finally meet my wife." I was like, "Dope."
Yeah.
And you're like, and I put my hand out to shake your hand, and you're like, "Nope. We hug around here."
Yeah,
and I was
I'm a hugger.
All right, cool.
I like to hug, and I think I've mentioned this. I carry this because, a couple of things, right? And one of them being what Rickie mentioned earlier about 8 hugs a day makes the pain go away. And then I've also had a regional manager that I used to work with like 10 years ago. And I don't know, I might have mentioned this on a podcast before, but he was like this big built, man, and just like very intimidating physically, like his appearance. But then like you meet him and he's like this teddy bear, very soft spoken. And he would go in and he would hug. When he would come in, he would hug everyone. And it wasn't
I remember you saying that.
An awkward, hug. It was just a very friendly, like, hey, how are you? And it was not a side hug. It was we're going in and we are like embracing. It was nice. So now that's how I like to approach
How many seconds would you say that was?
It was like a good, like enough to like I'm now I'm trying to demonstrate by hugging because I want to test this out. It must have been at least 4 or 5 seconds.
That's a long time.
It was like I'm gonna hug you. We're gonna
We need an
deep
example.
breath.
We need an
and
example.
Then let
Deep
go and
breath?
release. Yeah, like an exhale release. It
and he
a
was
breath
doing
long.
this perfectly with everybody,
Yes.
the same way
and
with everybody.
Everyone would almost be like, "Okay, my turn."
Okay.
Everyone was all about it.
My next question: how many employees was there?
There was it was a big branch, so about 4 to 6 bankers and then 7 tellers, so 15 people. At least 15 people, and not including the managers and everyone. We had a full staff. So, yeah, so he would go.
He spent 6 minutes out of his day.
Yes,
to
he
just
did.
I
hug
feel like we
people.
calculated this last time too when we talked about this person.
But it's worth it.
So
He was making people. He made my day. I was like,
He's
okay.
all exhausted at the
Yeah,
end
like,
of the day.
okay,
These
I need a
fucking
break.
people,
Well-
they transferred all their energy to me.
you see, and that's the one thing that you got to I guess,
careful
be careful with because, and maybe that's why
Malas vibras.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're not like a hugger like that. Because it's
You're
almost
sensitive to energies.
Yeah, it's like almost like you're putting up. I wouldn't call it a wall. That seems negative, but you're just putting up a barrier
I mean, that's pretty.
to protect yourself, right? Because
Your energy, yeah.
then there's people that don't know.
Ain't nothing wrong with that either, though.
Yeah, there's some people
want
that
your
don't
bad
understand
jujus.
that like a regular hug is a regular hug. Because I've seen you hug people, and it's just like that's a funny hug. You know?
I'm the most
But-
awkward fucking hugger.
But there's certain people that you actually hug.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but then too, it's like those same people that I've seen you hug add a value to your life,
Yes.
and I think that's where it's like you say like you're not gonna just waste your hug on some random ass person. It's kind of like what Erica and Samantha were saying. It's just like it's the quality over the quantity.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like just give me one good
Hug.
hug worth 8.
So,
Yeah.
so I was in a situation where there was like, I had a falling out with somebody,
Okay.
but time passed
Oh, shoot.
and the hug, the embrace that we had after all like time and all that was, and I mentioned, I don't remember what we were talking about. One of the best hugs I had ever received in my, like, I think that was the moment that I realized how powerful a hug was.
Yeah.
And how you could say so much in a hug without saying a word.
So did this rekindle your guys' falling out and
100%, because you felt like, and I go back to the exchange of energy.
Yeah.
Without saying anything,
Yeah,
I felt that person's feelings and emotions. You had two very vulnerable people just
hug it out?
being one in that exchange. I'd never experienced anything like that. And I look back at all the many years that I'd known this person, I was like, we never had an exchange like that. Like,
So it was genuine.
Yeah.
that one hug made up for like the limited hugs we had or that we should have had. Like it just
So your physical touch aspect has to have value.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not just like a put your sweaty armpit on my shoulder.
That was a very vulnerable moment.
For the both of us. For the both of us.
Yeah. She's like, well, I don't just put my sweaty arms
On
on
anybody.
Anyone.
Actually, no, that's true. Thank you. I feel
She's
accepted
never
now.
She's never gonna wash that shirt again.
But here's the other thing too. Like when we go back to like protecting your energy and why I'm not hugging every like Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, right?
Oh.
I think that
That was an interesting choice of words. I have never heard that before. I'm
trying
sorry.
to think about
But do you go around hugging every hairy dick?
just one. No, I that's an old ass. I don't remember where I must have heard that like
The He-Man and the Hein, huh?
Oh my god! Yes,
That's
the
how I
hemming and
felt
the
with that one.
Yeah, that's accurate. Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So I think in a lot of in the exterior part of how I am and who I am with everybody that I engage with, right?
Yeah.
It's always like in the workplace, in my business. All of that is a performance, right? Mm-hmm. because you're providing a service or you're working and you have to work at a, for me, right? Like work at a certain pace and presentation and energy.
For sure.
And I've tried to have that, you know, have a good continuity with it. Consistency. And I think I've been like really fucking consistent, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can't lose your shit with those people.
No.
You're
a professional.
You can't, you know, you don't give any more than that. And I'm not saying I don't give any more than that. I'm saying like I established, you know, a steady pace in delivery and how I am in that regard, right?
Like you have like respect for yourself. Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
A boundary?
Yeah, I guess it's a boundary. Like this, I know that this is how I am, right? And I know that like with my core people, the people that like even in this setting right now, I can lose my shit because I don't have to
perform. You're not acting a certain way for anyone.
And it's not acting, but it's in the performance in the sense that, well, actually, yeah, because somebody could really piss you off and you can't do anything about it. You have to like, you know, composed, right? So it's nice to be able to lose my composure in the safety of people that I trust and people that I know are going to understand that that's a component of me, right?
Yeah.
And not, you know, which is also goes back to love languages, even though it's not on there, but being able to allow someone to, you know, combust like that in the listening aspect of it and the acceptance part of it, I think is an important thing. But I didn't realize that until recently.
The vulnerability part, you're able to be vulnerable in this setting with the people that you know, that know your history, that understand you, that won't necessarily give you any negative feedback and you trust them.
Yeah.
You trust us?
And can I ask a question? In your guys' results, which one of those answers were you most like shocked by?
Oh yeah, I was definitely shocked by the first one for me, the acts of service, because I've never been an acts of service needer.
Meaning you would just like do it yourself.
Right. Like I had no problem with picking up after my own shit, or just that acts of service was number 5 for me. My first one was quality time. And then even what is the fucking touch one?
Physical touch.
Physical touch.
You can't remember that one.
So
Fuck.
so do they like, cuz this is the, cuz you said that there was multiple quizzes on here, but this one was the actual like love one.
Yes. Right.
And I wouldn't say we're necessarily like targeting the romantic part of it, right? It's just more so just in general.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they both correlate, like your love romantically and your love personally, like on an everyday with people in your circle? Would you say that those answers would pretty much kind of like sit in the same realm of each other, or do they differ?
I think they
from non-romantic to romantic.
Yeah. I think for me it might actually differ, and sometimes, because I feel like, so the acts of service from Mike, what I would want is, hey, you know what, help me with the dishes, help me with the laundry, help me with whatever, without me having to ask you. Just like, if you're seeing that I'm carrying too much on my plate, it'd be cool, like, help me out. I'm not gonna go ask Rickie or my mom to like, hey, can you just wash my dishes? Which if you do, that'd be cool too, but that's not something that I'm gonna go to Rickie like, fuck, Rickie, can't you just wash my dishes, please? Please.
But
I'm not
obviously scenarios are different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
would-
So
but
I guess
would
it's
you-
just case by case.
Yeah, like because then too, like you could say like, all right, we got this or that to do. Rickie, can you take care of this part of it so that I have more time to do this part of it? So
Actually,
like that's still an act of service in a sense.
Yeah.
No, it is, because you're giving the other person an opportunity to do that. But it is super important to communicate that, and you can't expect that their other person is mind readers. That reminds me of my whole meltdown, because I was too afraid to communicate to people like, I need help with this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh no, I could do it. I got it. Trying to prove what? Okay, cool.
Yeah, for who?
You can't. But me too. I'm looking at people like,
aren't you gonna help me? Don't you see me struggling?
and here's the thing: some people do.
Yeah.
Some people don't even take it that far.
Right.
They already know, and it's a natural thing for them to help and support with anybody. But some people do need to be told. Like,
Yeah.
and I had to learn that the hard way.
Right.
Because I'm over here expecting something from someone.
Yeah.
And instead of telling them, I need this,
They don't.
I would like
mind.
this,
Right.
I'm pissed because they didn't just do it.
Well,
Right.
see, that
I learned that lesson too late.
That always, like, we always got to retreat back to what Natalie always mentions, right? It's just like the expectation. Like, I think it was Nipsey that said, like, you can't weigh your expectations on me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, you can't weigh your expectations of me, your expectations of me on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to meet your expectations. So how, like, that's not fair for you to
Right.
expect me to meet your standards.
Yeah. I do like. I think that what would help, and you've been really great at this, Rickie, is that Rickie will tell me like, "Hey, whenever you want me to take care of DeLuca, just let me know."
I'm ready.
I think that that's helpful for, especially the example that you're giving when you're saying like people expect this, and for people that don't speak up. You, for example, being the person that, hey, like, I'm going to advocate for you. I'm going to, I'm here. Being able to say out loud to the person in need, hey, whenever here, or hey, I'm available like this. If you need this, I got you. And that kind of opens up the, okay, I feel comfortable to ask. Because sometimes it's kind of like you don't want to ask for help because you do feel like you can carry the weight. Like today, I wasn't stressing, but I was like, oh my God, I need to text my mother-in-law because Mike is working. And so I didn't have anyone to watch DeLuca, obviously, for our podcast. And I was like, okay, let me just text her. And I know that she's going to be fine with it. Of course, she wants to see her
There's a whole clan of people here.
Grandchild, right? And so I'm like, okay, let me just send the text. But it is kind of like a, oh my God, I don't, like, it's like a, I think culturally, too, there's like this thing where like, why are you asking for help? You're supposed to carry that load, the invisible load. But anyway, I'm glad that I at least have the support and the people available when you.
But that actually reminds me of something. So like Nancy E with 3 E's. I was like, how many E's does she have on here?
Nancy.
Is it 3 or 4? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nancy.
4, 3. So that's my childhood friend that I've known for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
When I went up to go visit her, we were gonna go see Brenton Wood in concert because she's seen him in concert before, but her and I had never seen him in concert, and he was like a soundtrack to like
your childhood,
our youth, all of that stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I love about spending, and it's not often that she's like 3 hours away, but it's not often that I make the time to go up there. But when I go, and when I went this time, like we went to what are they called? Damn it, Nance! Where the alpacas were and the little goats. I was gonna bring a goat home. They're so cute. A pet sanctuary, animal sanctuary. Sorry. So she just had things planned, like from the moment that I got there. I got to hang out with her family, who is like, a
your second
big part
family.
of my family. Yeah. And then, breakfast, like she made me breakfast on the day before, like on the day that I had to leave. She makes the fluffiest eggs on the planet, but she's cooking, and then coffee, but she serves it to me.
Yeah.
That whole, all of that experience in my mind and in my head, though, I still feel like, but I'm not worthy of this.
Oh no.
It's just this little tiny voice in the back of my head that says like I felt guilty for this person, like doing all of these kind and beautiful things, for me. Even though, like, she's not making me feel bad about anything.
Right.
Like, where the hell does it come from in me that I'm feeling bad about somebody caring for me and loving, and it's loving me in that manner? Do you get what I'm saying?
That's probably because you're usually the one doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think having a friend like Nancy for you is like, we all have someone that sees all that, right? Like we're looking at you and all the stuff that you do. So when she's like, all right, when she's in my presence, she's not going to get a chance to do that.
Yeah.
She's in my home and she's going to feel like a guest and wanted,
Yeah.
not needed.
Right.
Because there's a big difference, right?
He's a good friend.
Of feeling needed. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like when you feel like you're needed, it's more so in a sense of people can't function without you. And it's almost like a detriment to your living, because it's just like you got to be able to like do things on your own here. But being wanted is like, just come sit down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Enjoy
Yeah.
this. Like,
Yes.
I already
That
made
person
eggs,
enjoys
or,
your presence.
you know what I mean? So it's just like her knowing that you were going to go down there was in her head. She was probably dialing everything in the way you dial in everything for everybody else. And because you didn't get a chance, because that's what you're used to, right? You didn't have a chance to start saying, well, we could start doing this. She didn't give you that moment
Right.
to be in your normal.
Right.
Right, so she's like, "Nope, you're gonna know what it." Remember, it was Amy. Always tells you like you need to have someone in your life that's like you, so you could experience you.
No, you said that.
No, that was Amy.
It was Amy.
So,
Yeah. She's like, you should know what it feels like to experience yourself.
and
Yeah.
and
that
I
was
would
pretty
say,
big. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
yeah, I would say that in that, because I think it was like a whole weekend. I remember you were texting me like, "Man, these eggs, Ray," and then I'm looking, I'm like, why is there a fucking llama on my phone?
Oh, yeah.
Like-
I sent him a picture of the alpacas.
Or alpaca, excuse me. But yeah, so it's like
That was a good picture, though.
she was able to read it, right? Like exactly what you were saying earlier, how you would tell Natalie, hey, I can take care of DeLuca for you, right? Because Nancy knows you won't say anything,
Right.
and Natalie knows you won't you know that Natalie won't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's one of those things, right? And I've experienced that with you too. Like if we have an event and we want to bring Samantha, you're just like, tell Samantha to come. The girls will take care of the kids.
The kids. Yeah.
You know, like we got this. Everything's gonna be fine. Because you know we won't ask.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of beating it to the punch, like, hey, I got you. I already know you're struggling with this. Look, I have this available if you want it.
But that's the best part of having
Friends, family, community.
the circle that you have, right? Because it's the circle you have is always beneficial when it's the circle you make.
Say that again.
The circle you have is more beneficial when it's a circle you make.
Right.
Meaning, like, it's not just a bunch of random ass people that are coming around you. Like, we all have that circle. We all have people that just come around for their needs. And we won't have an issue with taking care of that because that's just who we are.
That's true.
Right? But it's important to have a tighter circle within that circle that takes care of you.
Yes.
So
I get that.
again, like Amy, Nancy, Natalie,
that.
Yeah.
like that's your little circle that's gonna take care of you,
My
and you don't
cup
have to say
fillers.
anything. There you go,
Yeah.
your cup fillers.
That was perfect. I have nothing to say.
Love languages.
Yeah.
Love languages.
Yeah.
What's the most like? What's someone that shocked you the most, Natalie?
What was that? The
The
physical touch
service
one?
The
of it.
physical touch.
Physical touch?
The physical
Yeah,
touch.
remember because she's got a baby attached, an affectionate dog. Mike wants to be, and it is surprising because you
Yeah.
have those three elements.
Yeah, I'm always like,
Well, see, and that, so maybe
You're like,
it's
why I
just,
still need it.
it's a different form of it then. That
yeah,
you're just like,
it is a different form.
you're like, yeah, I don't need that physical touch. I need the physical touch
She
that's
needs
just
her own
like,
physical touch.
Yeah. I need
Not
the
like that.
physical touch.
you know, hey, you
Listen.
know, hold on, you know when you say that, you're like, it's like you're rooting your brother on at
Yeah,
the same
I
time.
know.
I'm what?
You're rooting
You're
your
rooting
brother on.
at the same time. Like, go get that.
No, not with him. I was saying like with herself.
Who else?
With herself. Like we were talking about, self-soothing and getting in touch with
the
yourself.
self
Yeah.
and with my husband. Both are fair, but also like my perfect physical touch fantasy is I'm walking with my husband in Mexico City and it's a nice hot night and we're making out in front of wherever.
La
we're making out.
Catedral.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but I was thinking.
And then there's a flash mob and they get married in front of everybody, right?
What is this?
Wait, I never thought about that. Like a fantasy physical touch.
Yeah.
But see, that's so like
Damn.
That's like romantic for me. I'm
You're
like,
good with PDA, like
I love PDA. I can't get enough of it. And Mike is not PDA at all. He will not. And I'm like, just come make out with me.
and see the irony.
Cold people.
The irony. So did Mike end up taking the test?
No, I wanted him to, but we didn't have time for it.
Can I make my predictions?
What is it? Because
let's make our predictions
Well,
with Michael Moda.
we're gonna predict it, but we don't know if he's gonna take it.
Can you make him take it, please?
We'll do it before the next episode.
My predictions are that he's gonna be words of affirmation first, and then words of affirmation second.
For me, I think it's gonna be the gift giving, and then
I
words
thought
of affirmation.
about gift giving after, but words of affirmation definitely I think is gonna be it.
Okay.
Imagine if it's physical touch, then that is a loophole.
Then maybe we're missing something.
No, I could see that though. I mean,
Yes, because
Mike, ironically, is one of the very few people that I'll actually hug. Right? Like I don't just go around fuck. I'm like Ricky. I'm just fucking
Back
go
up.
around hugging people.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't just randomly hug people. I don't drop the I love yous on people. Like it's just not something like I have like if for me to actually fucking say it to you.
Yeah.
Like I had a friend, real close friend actually.
Yeah.
He was like, we were done hanging out at the shopping, and he's about to go on his way, and I feel like an ass now that I'm saying this out loud, but we're across from each other in the parking lot. So like I'm in one spot and he's across the parking lot in another spot, and he was like, "All right, man, love you, dog." I just get in my car and I'm out.
wow,
Like,
Ray, did you even make eye contact with him?
Huh?
You didn't even look at him.
No, I was like, "Got you, bro." That was it.
Okay.
Like I just can't say it. And that's not because I don't love them.
Right.
I do. I just don't. I'm just not gonna say it to everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you
So
regret it?
no. I mean.
No.
Eleni,
Like
I love
thinking-
you platonically.
Only saying it out loud do I realize like that was kind of a dick move. But then too, I just know I do understand like that's just not how I operate, right? And I'm assuming he knows that, right? Like earlier.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and
It's because the culture doesn't allow men to tell other men that they love them.
I wouldn't say that because I don't feel like I'm a part of that.
You don't think so?
No, because like even when I look at the way I raise my son, like
That's your son.
like even today, yeah, but my dad I could count on my hand
How many times?
how many
he said-
times in 37 years that he's told me he's loved me,
Okay.
and it doesn't reach a whole hand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
So you'll tell your son though, like, "Oh, I love you, son," whatever.
I told him this morning, like I'll mess with him. I'll like
Yeah.
play with his chin, and I'm like, "Oh, he's so cute," and, you know, like I'll fuck with him. And he just looks at me and he goes, "Why do you do?"
That's important.
He's like, "Why do you do that?" I was like, "Cause you're my son, bro. I love you." I was like, "I know we don't always get along, but you're my first kid,
yeah.
and anything and everything you do, I'm gonna be fucking proud of it."
Yeah.
So, I've never had those type of conversations with my dad.
Okay.
So it's for me, it's important, especially with my son, so that my son understands, like, I guess the value of that word, love. Like you
Yeah.
have to know, you can't just whip it on anybody. You can't just say, "Love you back." Like even if you do,
That's true too. I get that.
I feel like even if you do, it's the acts of services that you do for people that show that you love them.
Yeah.
Like checking in with people when there's nothing at stake or nothing that's beneficiary to you, like being able to be like, "Hey, how's your day going? You good?" And it's just a random fucking Tuesday. Those to me are ways of saying, "Yo, dog, I love you too."
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll say it when I'm ready to say. Like I want to go see my homie today, actually, and he's like my brother. He's my other Ricky in my life.
The other Ricky.
And he's been going through stuff too, and I was like, "Look, I'm gonna make it a point to like pull up on you a little bit more often, you know, like I know I haven't been around." And
I don't think you mentioned that.
he even told me, he even hit me with the, "I'm still waiting from the last time you said that." right? And then I was just like, I know, bro. I was like, but things came up, and he goes, you know, I love you, dog. And then he gave me a hug. He's like, be safe. And then he hit me with it again, love you, bro. And I was like,
wait,
gotcha.
that was so the other Ricky is the one who told you that?
That time, but that was today. The other one was
It's not the other Ricky. Oh, okay.
It was somebody else.
I got you.
But I just, for me, that's just, again, I don't just randomly tell people that, you know, which is ironic because I even think about it, I don't think I tell my wife that.
You don't tell her you love her? Mm-mm. But she doesn't expect that. Or she
I don't know.
Is that like in a Samantha?
I don't know. We did.
Explain yourself.
She's probably asleep now. We did.
You guys use hand signals?
Wow, you're very invested in this conversation now.
I'm like, how do you not like you're telling your son, but
so we ended up taking the test too, right? Because I get homework, I do it.
Thank you, Ray, for listening.
So we ended up doing that. And we're actually both completely opposite of each other. Which
okay, so you are.
Hold on, let me double check. But that's
I think it's quality time.
Quality.
Oh
time.
yeah, mine's just quality time and
Okay.
and physical touch.
And Sam's is.
Hers is access services, and I think receiving gifts.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was funny because we ended up
So
having
she
like
doesn't necessarily need "I love yous."
no,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
she doesn't.
And that's the whole point of love. If you don't need it,
But that's where we mention it, like, right, like the acts of services, like how you said, like, Mike, wash the dishes when you know my plate's a little full,
Yeah.
right? And that we had that dialogue jokingly, Samantha and I, and it was just like the same, kind of like the same thing. Like, all right, you mopped the house today, like, so you get to touch me, you know, like,
And it's an exchange.
yeah. So there's an exchange. You like
Yeah.
you like the physical touch, so you could come touch me.
Yeah.
Now that you did my acts of services
Right.
for the house, you know. So
Right.
like we joked about it, but at the same
what
time,
an
like
exchange.
we look at it like the way when I interpreted everything at the end of the day after we both took it, I was just like, all right, it makes sense because one, it makes sense in the sense of opposites attract, right? So
Absolutely.
you end up
That's true.
telling, like, that's what creates the balance.
Yeah.
And I was looking, I was like, all right, cool. Well, that does make sense because if we were both the same, we'd probably be butting heads.
Yeah. Oh
And-
yeah.
and I
You
think
don't ever want the same thing.
And I think we've done that before, but it's also just like you got to have the trade-off, right? So like Mike's would be completely opposite of yours,
yeah. Yeah.
because and it has to be. And I was questioning, like, is that how we rate the compatibility after we take this test?
That's an interesting point.
What would it be, huh?
Because what would you do if you had someone that needed the exact same thing you needed?
No.
I feel like it's like in boxing when you get two very powerful punchers.
Yeah.
Well, neither one of them wants to get hit because they
Right.
both know
They're all
that.
just gonna be dancing
So
around
now,
each other.
yeah. So now it's just a boring ass fight because they're avoiding that one fucking hit that's
Yeah.
devastating.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Damn.
is that the same thing? Like when it comes to the acts of
Probably.
love, like we're supposed to have the opposite?
Maybe. I think so. But I think it's also fair to say that or add to that we all need all of the love languages at some extent.
Oh,
So just
agreed.
because
Yeah.
you don't tell your
Well, yeah, because none of them are at 0%.
right, yeah, you need a certain
little
amount.
bit of everything.
Hey, I could use a gift here and there. I can use some quality time. I can use some, hey wife, you're amazing every now and again. It's not on my top.
And
but
something to think about at a different time because I'm exhausted and we gotta go to bed.
yes, we do.
Is that you could potentially get those love languages from different people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of similar to what you said before, like.
You're not gonna get it all from one person.
Yeah.
What you have
That person can't be everything.
soulmates in different
Yes.
realms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Oh yeah,
Word.
I deeply believe that. Absolutely.
that's good.
Good way to end the episode. Hey, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being on Twitch on a Thursday, catching us completely off guard. But
Coming up
we're doing the thing, right?
Thursday.
Yeah.
You see.
Hey, Drake came out with a new album. Did
I
you guys
heard
like
some of
it?
it today. My kids were listening
It
to
was
it. I
okay.
was like, oh, okay.
It was okay.
I mean, I definitely loved the one with J. Cole because J. Cole shitted on him on that one.
My favorite is the one with J. Cole and SZA. Everything else,
That's the West Coast in you.
yeah, I think you're right. You're right. And then like there's the Bahama Paradise song. That's it. There's only 3 songs, and then the rest.
Virginia Beach was actually pretty good.
Ooh, that's the first song, huh? I'll have to listen again.
I think he put it in the right spot.
Okay. I'm gonna have to take a listen again. But also, I just want to end this by saying that the Bad Bunny song too. The one with Bad Bunny. The shit. Drake speaking Spanish. I was like, yes, baby, yes. You and Bad Bunny can do all the songs together. But with that, I'm gonna say that
listen to all of this.
Bad Bunny's new album is coming out tomorrow. Everyone, so be ready.
Oh, technically, it would be out right now.
Is it?
It might be because it's technically midnight East Coast, so it's 8:00 now.
Okay.
Girl, go get that Bad Bunny album.
I'm gonna be on the drive home getting my shake on, or I don't know what to expect from this album. But anyways, you guys, today's episode was produced live by Raymond Andrew at Rose City Sound with your host Natalie and Rickie Lee. Hey,
We all sweaty.
yes, we are. For inquiries, topic suggestions, and sponsorships, please email us at onthisfrequency@gmail.com. On This Frequency is available where all podcasts can be streamed. Watch a live stream recording every Friday at 6 or 7. 7.
TBD,
7 p.m.
TBD, depending on the day.
We're figuring it out. Season 3. Pacific Standard Time, okay? On Twitch at twitch.tv/on this frequency. If you missed our live stream, you can watch past episodes on YouTube. You can also check the show notes for the video link to this episode. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a beat. And if you want to support us, you can support by buying us some coffee. You can send us your donation at buymeacoffee.com/on this frequency. And if this podcast means something to you like it means so much to us, it would be so amazing if you followed and subscribed to the podcast. Follow on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating, review us, and share your episode with your besties. All right, you guys, have a nice night.
Meow.
Vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy.